We chose to build a custom home with Marc Julien Homes because of his immediate responsiveness. We were sitting on the patio on our old house, the one that we wound up tearing down, discussing what we were going to do with the house. And we decided to start talking to general contractors. So we did a quick online search, and Marc Julien Homes was one of the first to pop up. I dialed the number. Marc answered the phone himself, and 20 minutes later, he was sitting with us on our patio discussing our possibilities. So we thought, wow, that was the most responsive thing from the guy himself. That's all she wrote, pretty much. We wound up interviewing others, but no one really came close. We clicked really quickly with Marc, and it came out great.
Yeah, and I would just add that we also looked at a lot of homes in the local area, and we just fell in love with a number of homes that had the same builder and the same architect. And of course, that builder was Marc Julien. So in addition to the service and the consultative approach that Marc took, seeing the quality of the work was important for us. And lastly, Marc introduced us to some other clients, and we toured some of the work that he had done in their homes. And we're just impressed again with the quality of the work. What do we enjoy most about building the home? I think it's the creative process. I mean, all of the ideas and the collaboration, working with the architect, working with Marc Julien Homes, in coming up with what's such a unique design for us for a dream home. I think going into this project, we were concerned about being remote and not being local to build a home. And again, Marc and Kirsten and the whole team, Marc Julien, just made it easy for us with the updates that they gave us and the communication. We thought that was going to be the hardest thing, but it actually ended up not being a challenge.
They gave us great confidence in doing it long distance, just because of the professionals that they are.
Plus, we had our webcams all around, so we got to watch the
yeah, that was exciting. Our favorite part of the house, that's hard to say because we did incorporate a lot of really special elements into this house. But I have two of them, and one would be actually the outside shower.
That's mine.
Oh. What an amazing addition it was to this custom home. It makes everything all the more luxurious.
There's so many components of this home that we just love, but we do have an upper deck, an observation deck that's on top of this one-story custom home. And during the planning and budgeting process, I was trying to force my wife Tracy to remove that component. And I have to say now it's one of my favorite parts of the house. So glad we didn't remove it, and thank you for keeping that in the plan.
Yeah, I have to say during the construction, when Kirsten first let us go up there, we stepped up there and we had never seen the view down Lake Ida like we had seen from that upper vantage point. We had never seen it from up high, and our mouths literally fell open. So we were just so grateful that we kept it in the plan and kept that. It's really special, and we're now using it as our sunset deck. So, yeah.
Well, this house is made for entertaining. And so over the holidays, which is where we christened the house, we had 11 guests staying here with us. And first of all, everyone, just their jaws dropped as they walked into the house and saw the design, the quality of the home. Since the house was built for entertaining, it completely opens up. It was just spectacular. Everyone related it to actually visiting a resort. And that was our intention, was we call it Resort Meyer, to develop a resort that's also a home, and we've accomplished that. It's definitely our first time building a custom home, and interestingly enough, we inherited this property and we were talking about renovating it. And Marc also consulted with us to say, hey, at the end of the day, you're not going to end up with what you really want, and you could end up spending almost as much money. And that was the right advice, and very happy with the overall outcome.
Yeah, Marc was really good consulting us on that. In fact, one of the big parts that stuck with me was he said, new construction is king in South Florida. And he said, at the end of the day, you would be left with a house built in 1980 versus a house built in 2020. And there's 40 years difference there, and people want new. And so that left us with a big impression. And he was right. We made the right call.
Yeah. Advice for first-time home builders, one of the big learnings we had was you have to consider the entire property. We actually didn't do that properly as far as designing the patio and the outside and the pool. So I think one big piece of advice for anyone building a home, don't just look at what's inside the walls, look at the entire property and all elements of that.
Yeah, we wound up probably spending a little more money than we needed to because we didn't start the design of our pool deck early on in the process in conjunction with the whole house. So, I mean, we got exactly what we wanted now, and Mark and Kirsten coached us through it and convinced us to do it. And again, that was exactly the right decision, but it was a bit painful getting through that process. So that is great advice, is to design the entire property all at once before you break ground.
Yeah, and obviously, if you're a first-time home builder, you got to find the right partner, both from an architect and a builder, and definitely consider Mark in that decision-making process, because we got everything that we expected to get.
I would recommend Marc Julien Homes to someone who might be on the fence about who to go with, because of their relationships with their subcontractors. I think that was probably the most impressive part to me about them as a builder, was they have these subs just dialed in, super under their wing, and they were fast and furious with getting the job done, and all super professional and high quality workers as well. If we built another house, absolutely, we would use Marc Julien Homes again.